Hey guys, my name is Scoby. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a count up or count down timer in Adobe Premiere Pro. On screen right now you can see a quick example of this. This will be made using only Premiere Pro, no other software will be needed. There's a couple of other tutorials out there that use After Effects and a couple of other things. We will need nothing else except for Premiere Pro in this example. Let's get right into this. So the first thing you want to do is have your project open. In this case, I just have this quick sample of Rocket League on my video track, but we're not going to be paying too much attention to the video track for now. What we're going to be doing now is coming to our project bin. If you can't find this, simply come up to Window and click on Project. And from here, we're going to be taking our current sequence, whatever sequence you have. I currently have this sequence right here. And we're going to be duplicating it by clicking Control and C and Control and V to make an exact copy. Now this copy we're going to be renaming to Timer. And once we have our timer copy made, we're going to be double clicking into our timer. Now once this second sequence is made, we can completely remove the video track from our timeline because we won't be needing it anymore. We're going to be coming back to our project window and we're going to be clicking on the bottom right and we're going to be creating a new title. Now by doing this, the title should be the exact size and width of your actual scene, so you shouldn't have to change any of the settings. We're going to be clicking OK and we're going to be making this title just as is. It's going to be a completely blank title and we're going to be using it just like this. You want to drag your title onto your timeline and stretch it out however much time you want. It doesn't matter for now. We're going to be changing this a little bit later. Once this is all done, we're going to be coming up to our effects control panel. If you can't find this, simply come up to Window and click on Effects. And from here, we're going to be searching in the search box for timecode. Now, once you have the timecode effect found, we're going to be dragging our timecode effect onto our title that we just created in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now, once we've this done, we should notice this little box coming up on screen, and we're going to be editing this to turn it into a count up or count down timer. From here, we're going to be going to our effects control panel. If you can't find this, simply come up to Window and go to Effect Controls. And we're going to be opening up our timecode effect to open up all the settings we have here. Now the first thing we're going to be doing is changing the format to frames. So we can see we just have the frames right here, which will increase and decrease as we want. We're going to be disabling the field symbol. We're going to be changing the timecode source from media to clip. And now we're going to be scaling up our timer to as big as you need it for your track. In this case, I'm going to be keeping it roughly in the center and as big as I can make it. And we're going to be keeping the opacity in 40 for now. We'll test this out a little later to see what it looks like. But for now, we're going to be leaving it to 40. Now, as you can tell, we currently have 18 as our number here. And that's because we're on the 18th frame in our track. If we skip through our track to say 13 seconds and 37, I did not plan this, 1337 just happened to come up here. You can see that's currently 817 frames in this track. Because my sequence is a 60 frame per second track, each second will have 60 frames. So whatever number we skip to will have that amount of frames. And we can use this method to end up on whatever number we want. If we use the left and right arrows on our keyboard, we can skip between the exact number of frames. And this is going to be the basis of our count up or count down timer. So we come back to our original sequence by going to our project bin and then clicking on our original sequence. We can see that we currently have it here. And now you may be wondering, how do we actually get the timer on here? What we're going to be doing is grabbing our timer sequence that we just created and dragging it onto our timeline on top of our original track. And as you can see, it shows up right here. Now, as you can see, it does have a gray gradient box around it. We can easily change, increase, or decrease this by coming back to our timer sequence one more time, coming to our effects control panel, and then we can decrease or increase the opacity of this box to increase or decrease the little box in the background if you need it, depending on what color your timecode is or however else you want to change it. You can change all that here. If we go back to our original sequence, you can see it's completely removed and we can really easily edit around this now. So now that we have our timer set up, we can really easily move this without actually having to go back into our old sequence. We can really easily edit this by clicking on our sequence on our timeline, coming up to Effects Control Panel, opening up the Motion tab, and then moving the position and scale to suit whatever needs we want, to have it wherever we want. If you're trying to count up a number of goals or whatever you're trying to do, you can do all of that here. And as you can see, as I scroll through my track, it's going to increase and decrease. So say, for example, in Rocket League, we want to use it as a goal counter. Now, I'm not going to be finding footage in this instance to have a goal timer, but I'm just going to be saying, for example, let's say I score a goal right at this next frame. I'm going to be skipping forward one frame in our track. I'm going to be clicking the C key on our keyboard to bring open our cut tool, and I'm going to be cutting on the sequence right here. I'm also going to be skipping one more track forward, and I'm going to be cutting on the sequence right here as well. I'm going to be deleting the long sequence that we have here, the remainder of it, and we're going to be left with two pieces of our old sequence on our count up timer. We're going to be left with 0 and we're going to be left with 1. Now we can really easily edit this by dragging this forward. So this is going to be our 1 sequence and this is going to be our 2 sequence. So what we can do is copy and paste So what we can do is copy and paste this sequence. I'm going to be locking my first layer so it doesn't paste onto our video track. And if I just skip onto our sequence multiple times, I'll have a 0 sequence here up until the point where I bring back in my number 1 sequence where it skips to number 1. And now what I can do is copy this and then skip forward with a bunch of number 1s after, so it changes to this point. And what we can do is manipulate this to find to where the 100 frame is. So if I delete this track for now, bring on a fresh new timer sequence onto our track, and if I find where the 100 mark hits right here in our sequence, I'm going to be cutting our sequence here by clicking C and cutting it right here, skipping forward 1 and cutting it here just as it turns to 101 to get rid of that, deleting the primary sequence, and then coming back to our original sequence where it counts up. Now what I can do here is add a speed effect by going to right click, going to speed and duration, and setting whatever speed you want. In this case I'm going to be setting it to 1000, and it's going to count up really quick. And if I bring back my original number, I can put it at the very end so it counts up to 100. And all I have to do then is zoom in on our track, copy and paste this layer a couple of times to make the 100 last longer than it will. And if we watch our track from the very beginning, it's going to speed up really fast all the way up to 100. And then it's going to stay at 100 for as many frames as I paste in here. And we can also manipulate this to start at 100 and go back. So what I can do is grab our layer here, bring it to the back, grab all of our new sequence and put it to the beginning of the timeline. So as you can tell, we start off with the 100. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to have to do something else a little bit cheeky to trick Premiere Pro into letting us do a countdown timer. What we're going to do is grab our timer here. We're going to go to right click and we're going to be making a nest sequence from this. Now we're going to be naming it nested sequence for now. You can rename it if you wish. We're going to be grabbing our nested sequence and placing it over our original sequence. From here we're going to be right clicking our nested sequence, going to speed and duration, reversing the speed, clicking OK, and then if we come over our original track, we can see we can create a nice countdown timer here. And we can easily increase and decrease the speed of this countdown timer to make it suit our needs. We can stop it on certain frames. We can skip forward, skip back, and do a number of different things to play around with this. Now, it is important if you do want to reverse the speed, you do need to create an additional sequence on top of the sequence you already made for Premiere Pro to allow this. Otherwise, it'll give you some issues, so just keep this in mind. These methods are really easy to do, but they do require a little bit of tricking Premiere Pro into doing what we wanted. The only downside to this method is that we cannot change the actual font that comes up for our countdown timer. I've tried searching online to see how you can change the font for the countdown timer, but I could not find anything online on how to do this. So if you know how to change the timecode font in Premiere Pro, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know how to do this because I think it would bring this to the next level. It saves you using any other software, but thankfully the font isn't too ugly and it works really well. Just by increasing, decreasing the speed, reversing it, and playing around with the frames like we have at the beginning, you can do a lot with this method. It works really, really well and it's really easy to do. I didn't really find anyone making tutorials on this. This is a method I came up with by myself when working. I needed to do a countdown timer and I was trying to think of a cheeky way around it without having to use any other software, and I came up with this. So I think it's my method. I'm not sure if other people have used it in the past. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, check out the other videos on the channel. I'm going to leave a link down below to my PayPal if you want to support me. Of course, there's no pressure if you can't. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, as always, keep it saucy. Peace.